Hey, 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 my Be Health Empowered family. Welcome back to another episode of Excuse Me, Doctor. My name is Dr. Melissa Clark. Everybody calls me Dr. Mel. Thank you all for tuning in because we are back this week to do what we do every week, and that's to make sure that you have all the information that you need to make wise health decisions, not just for yourself, but also for your family and your community. We bust disinformation, we put out right information, and we give you an opportunity to put your comments, questions, concerns in the chat, and we respond to it in real time. That's what we do. And if you are checking us out for the first time, please hit that like button. If you're checking us out on Facebook, and that subscribe button. If you're a YouTuber, we really appreciate you for that. And if you are part of my regular Be Health Empowered family, not a newbie, you know that I have to have my crew rolling with me as we take you on this health journey today. So please, Miss Lila Mays, Mr. Wayne Bruce, please make yourselves known.
Hey, rolling with the homies. Happy Monday.
Happy Monday, everybody.
So we bust information there. We bust misinformation.
We bust misinformation.
You're gonna get
Yes.
busted.
Heard that.
Yes, we do.
Man.
And more.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
do
And we know
so
y'all bring the word on the streets, from the streets and,
from the streets, if you
So we appreciate
depending
you.
on where you are. From the streets.
That's right.
Indeed. Indeed. Well, let's jump in here. So it's November. It's Men's Health Month, and we're talking about something important to all of us for sure, right?
Yeah.
And that's Black men's health. There are so many brothers out there who we love who put everyone else first until something goes wrong. And then we're like, sir, did you even go to your checkup this year?
Yeah. Look, I'm just gonna say it. I mean, a lot of us men grew up thinking that we're supposed to tough it out. We're supposed to walk it off. We're supposed to handle
Right.
it. Supposed to be
Mhm.
strong. That
Especially to
mindset
walk it
is
off.
killing
Yeah.
us.
Yeah.
The mindset is actually killing us. High blood pressure, diabetes, stress, the mental health stuff is a whole. We don't have enough time to talk about it.
Right.
It's killing us. It's Black
But
men.
all that together is a lot. And that's why we have devoted this whole show to talk about the challenges that Black men face when it comes to their health and well-being, not just in their bodies with chronic disease, but also the mental health stressors of daily life, plus the misinformation we were just talking about, plus the daily pressures, plus distrust of the healthcare system if we're real about it. So
Yeah.
we're going to talk about all of that.
I got two things to say first. One, the distrust of the healthcare system. For me, I just had this conversation yesterday with a good friend of mine who is actually in sports and athletics, and
Mhm.
just over the vaccine stuff, he's just so distrustful of the healthcare situation of the system that he and his family refuse to take any vaccines. But we can go there another time. But the mental health thing hit home this week with the Dallas Cowboys, with the young man from the Dallas Cowboys.
Yeah, Marshawn
Yeah.
Nealon. Yeah.
Marshawn
Yeah.
Nealon. I mean, our young Black men are dealing with death by suicide at alarming rates.
Yeah.
So we are focused. It's November, Brovember. We want to take care of ourselves.
Yeah. We want to talk about all of this, right? And the goal is for brothers to be empowered and walk out of this episode feeling seen, supported, and armed with tools to take back their health.
Exactly. I love that Brovember, by the way. And to guide us all through it, we have an amazing, amazing guest, Dr. Kester Crosse. Y'all are going to love him. He's going to break down preventive care, self-care that actually works, and how to build a healthier relationship with your doctor as you either avoid those chronic diseases or manage them better.
Mhm.
We're going to talk about all of that with Dr. Crosse. He's going to walk us through it.
So look, this is not actually just for us. It's not actually just for Black men. It's actually for the people who love us, all our partners, all our aunties, sisters, moms, wives, and friends. Y'all are all a part of the equation. You guys are
Right.
part of our lives and part of what we do. So make sure you send this to everybody, and make sure you get that one unk that just has to have who swears by the sea moss and juice
As to be all and end all.
and matcha
Right.
tea. Just
Yeah.
just bring the unk in, because you know there's somebody out there who refuses to do any medicine, just sea moss and matcha tea. So send this
Right,
to him.
because we talk about integrated approaches here.
Right.
The best of
Right.
Western
Right.
medicine, the best of alternative medicine. So,
Right.
bring
Right.
everybody.
Right. Right.
So-
It might be some other things to add to the regimen. So
Hey, we
Right,
got something
exactly.
else for you, bro. We got
Yeah.
something
come on
else for
here.
you. You just ain't got to do the sea moss. You about 110 pounds right now.
Right.
Listen. So y'all stay tuned. But right now we're gonna jump into the weekly recap.
Where about music? There we go.
The
That intern.
intern.
That
The intern
intern.
was supposed to give us a fresh intro into the
I
recap. So
know. All I
we
got
gotta
is
we gotta have that for next week,
all
man.
he has is a DJ horn. What is wrong with him?
I don't know, but it does lead us to that first topic there.
It
Right.
does. So, Dr. Mel, as it turns out, you're not the only healer here on, excuse me, doctor. They're going to start needing to call me Dr. Wayne, because it's been said that music and musicians, it turns out, can actually help your pain.
Dr. Wayne, huh? I don't know about all of that, but
Yeah.
yes, you are right.
Okay.
Science is finally catching up to what we've always known, which is studies show that listening to music can impact how we experience pain.
Okay. So what's going on? What's actually happening in the body?
So research shows that people who listen to music, especially music that they choose themselves, that's key. They feel
Okay.
less pain and sometimes need fewer pain medicine. And it's because music stimulates the part of the brain that releases brain chemicals that ease discomfort, distract from pain signals, and even they're seeing sometimes lower heart rate, which is a good thing, lower blood pressure, also a good thing, and also help to regulate our stress hormones. So all that stuff's good.
So does it matter if it's classical or R&B or trap?
I'm sure trap music is the choice for some people, but yeah, no, it doesn't matter. A large study actually in the Netherlands found that any type of music works. The key was to choose the music yourself and actively focus on it, actively listen, because that's really what's causing the changes in the brain.
That's powerful, man. So the next time you're hurting, don't go to the medicine cabinet so fast. Just pump up the jam, especially if it's like spur of the moment. Y'all go research that group, spur of the moment.
Yeah, I hear they're especially healing. That's what I've
I
heard.
hear there
They're
especially their music is
healing.
medicinal. Yes.
Dr.
Well, I
Wayne, quote unquote.
Honestly, though, I love that was one of the first. That was the first on this week recap. I went to the dentist last week, and my tolerance for Novocaine is so high. They have to give me a lot for me to not feel anything.
Mhm.
But what I do is put on my headphones when I'm in the chair.
Oh, wow.
I'm like, don't talk to me. I will lift up my hand if I feel pain, but I put on my headphones and listen to my gospel really when I'm in the dentist chair.
There you go. We didn't even mention gospel, but there you go.
Yeah. You want to be
It's on the
closer
medicine
to
cabinet.
when
You
you're
want to
in
be
the
close
dentist
to thee when somebody working in your mouth.
chair. Right.
Yeah.
There you go. There you go.
All
Go
right.
closer to thee.
Number 2. So COVID shot for cancer care. So I read something wild, Dr. Mel, that the COVID vaccine might actually help cancer patients live longer?
That's right. The vaccine specifically. And
Yeah.
it's the mRNA COVID vaccine. So, the one that people were the most concerned about.
Mhm.
Turns out that people with an advanced type of lung cancer called non-small cell lung cancer, those who got the mRNA COVID vaccine around the same time that they started treatment with something called immunotherapy, which is a standard of treatment for that kind of lung cancer, they were nearly twice as likely to be alive 3 years later compared to those who didn't. Researchers think that the vaccine triggers the immune system in a special kind of way that primes it to attack cancer cells.
Wow. So it's like the vaccine gives the immune system like a jump start. Is that it?
Precisely, yes. And they also saw the same thing with another kind of cancer, melanoma, which is a type of skin cancer. And of note, if you're thinking, well, you know, could it just be that it was a vaccine? They looked at people with the flu vaccine and they did not see that same effect. Um,
Oh.
so it does seem to be something specific about the mRNA COVID vaccine.
Wow, that's incredible. So does this mean that the mRNA COVID vaccine could become a part of cancer care?
So we don't know yet, but possibly. Researchers are
Okay.
now running clinical trials to see if adding that kind of vaccine, the mRNA COVID vaccine, could be a standard part of treatment for non-small cell lung cancer. And since it's so widely available, it could be a powerful tool if it works out. We're just going to have to wait and see. But I think that's another thing that, for your friend in sports and athletics who were scared of the COVID vaccine, we're seeing yet this other totally unexpected benefit that wasn't anticipated.
I have a
Wow.
question, Dr. Mel. Wasn't the whole mRNA uh, vaccine based? Well, how they started it? They started by working on cancer research. It was
Yeah,
initially.
it was initially for that, and it's still that mRNA technology is still being
Mhm.
used and to explore other ways to in the fight against cancer. So yes,
Wow,
yeah,
Wow.
amazing.
and yep, absolutely.
All right, moving on to depression leads to heart problems in pregnancy. So we had heard about depression and the risk for heart disease in general, but pregnancy too, Dr. Mill?
Yes, we're seeing that pregnant individuals with depression have a higher risk of having new heart related diagnoses within 2 years of delivery. Everything from heart failure to high blood pressure to blocked arteries, which are the cause of heart attacks. Those are the things that had the highest association with depression at the time of pregnancy.
Okay, so we know in the US is a leader in women dying in pregnancy, and Black women have 3 times the rate of deaths, oftentimes from heart-related complication. That's
Yes,
why.
and so I think this is an important piece in paying attention to mental health, um, of pregnant women, especially Black pregnant women. Doctors need to do a better job of diagnosing depression so it can be treated. But if
Mhm.
you or someone you know is pregnant and suffering for symptoms of depression, have them talk to their doctor or call 988. That's the emergency number so that they can be linked to treatment. Very important.
Very important.
Very important.
All
I know
right.
what it's time for now.
The
What is it time for?
weekly debunk. Stopping misinformation in its tracks.
So I saw Rashida Reels is promoting herself as a child rearing expert and says avoid giving peanut products to kids because it makes them have allergies.
I don't know about that. Excuse me, Dr. Mel. Is Rashida right?
Rashida is wrong. Rashida is she got this one on her Instagram reel. She got this incorrect. So the 2017 NIH national guidelines were developed by allergy experts. They recommend introducing peanut products to babies um, as early as 6 months old for those
Wow.
who are at high risk, say have a family history of peanut allergy. And risk is also based on the presence of whether the child might have eczema or other things that are associated with
Mm.
having allergies. lower risk infants who don't really, have any obvious risk, you can wait to introduce the peanut products till 11 months of age. One recent study showed that physician-diagnosed peanut allergies in children aged 0 to 3 declined by almost 30% after doctors started recommending this to families. So more studies are needed, as always, in more diverse populations. So the more we test this out on different populations, the better. But your girl Rashida kind of missed. It was a miss. It was a miss on
She
this
got
one.
it wrong.
She be on them reels too much.
She yeah. Rashida, get
All
it together, Rashida.
I saw her at the civic office changing her name, last name to Reels, put with 3 E's
And 2 L's.
2 L's.
Well,
Rashida
on that,
Reels.
and a Z. But on that note, thank you all. We're going to see
All right,
you back
Dr.
in a
Mel.
little bit, and we are going to move into our recognition of November as Brovember, Men's Health Month. And we're diving today into Black men's health, the triumphs, the challenges, and the steps that we can all take to show up for ourselves and those that we love. So I am joined today by Dr. Kester Crosse. He is a distinguished gastroenterologist, proud Hampton University grad, and history maker, as one of the first African Americans to complete gastroenterology training at the University of Maryland Medical System. He's currently the Vice President of Clinical Affairs at Gastro Health in Columbia, Maryland, and he's a dedicated mentor, philanthropist, and he's put out multiple scholarships for future doctors and Hamptonians, Hampton University grads. So welcome, Dr. Crosse. Thank you so much for joining us.
My pleasure, my pleasure.
Well, I got a bunch of questions for you, but I first want to start off with asking you, how did you get interested in, well, first of all, what's gastroenterology? How did you get interested in it? And how does all of that relate to your interest in Black men's health?
Right. Great question. So healthcare as a profession, I was fortunate when you say what you see becomes easier to do. My father was an attorney, but 2 of his brothers were doctors. So I saw 2 physicians, so I knew that I could do it. My grandmother was a nurse, and I was interested in the sciences. Number one, America can be disrespectful, but I found, and you may have found, Dr. Mel, that you got some respect with being a physician. So I enjoyed watching my uncle and the respect that society gave them. And this is Black and whites. And then going into healthcare, just the thank you, and watching my uncle, the community, how they responded to my Uncle Chad outside of Philadelphia, working the front desk with him, and just seeing how the community responded to my uncle.
So you started off as front office staff.
Yeah, front office staff, and that I've taken that all the way through my training. You need to be able to do it all. If anybody, my managers that I employ, I love the ones that work at the front desk. They know how to do everybody's job, and that's the sign of a good leader and manager. But my grandmother, I mentioned, was a nurse. She died when I was in high school from colon cancer. To do a deeper dive on your question. And so going into the healthcare fields, there's certain fields that have the biggest impact, and prevention and care, and colon cancer screening, as you might remember, started coming out when we were coming through our training. So it really set off a light bulb that, hey, I may be able to do screening that was not available for my grandmother. Screening was not a protocol. You only got colon testing when you had bleeding or weight loss. And we now know if we wait for symptoms, the cure rate is 50% or lower, right? But since she didn't get screened, which it wasn't out, she had stage 3 colon cancer out of 4. And that is a 50% chance of being alive in 5 years. And in year 5, she passed away at the age of 72. But that got me into it. I've spent 20 plus years now screening, making a difference. And we're going to talk about it more, but Black men have the highest death rate from colon cancer for one simple reason, and that's because we don't get screened and we come in sick.
That makes perfect sense. And in order to increase Black men coming in and focusing on preventive health, it makes total sense that you have devoted as much time and energy into thinking and focusing on Black men's health. So thank you for doing that. I know sometimes talking about, prevention, I know some men can wait until something hurts, right? Before they see the doctor.
Mhm.
Where does that mindset come from, and how can we shift it towards, you know, promoting among men regular wellness visits instead of sort of waiting for something to go wrong?
Mhm. Well, men more so than women are told to be tough and to suck it up. Okay. But now we know that toughness is not a male thing. Toughness, women deliver babies and have delivered babies without pain medicine. So when it comes to the tough category, women are tougher than us. But it is good to be tough, but that is not a sexual thing. That is, males and females need to be tough. But for some reason, when men are not tough, we are told that it's a sign of weakness. And weakness is never welcomed in the male community. And so because of that, showing signs of weakness is a problem. It's fought, and we don't like to ask for directions. Sign of weakness, right? Saying that I'm hurting, sign of weakness. We play sports, suck it up, get back out there. But I will say this is a male deficit, because women are told to suck it up, but they still go to the doctor. So there's something else with the fragile ego of the man, and we just need to do more education early, which is what you're doing now, Dr. Mel, is that going to the doctor is cool, is sexy. Being healthy is wealthy. Being healthy is where it's at, and we just kind of have to get that out, since Black men have the shortest lifespan in America. Our average age of death is 70, when Asian are living to be 85. Black women are living to be 76. White men are living to be 78 and 80, and Black men are dying at 70.
Prematurely.
So
Absolutely. So you also mentioned when we were talking before that it's also something too about how the system is set up in terms of when girls transfer or, mature into adolescence and young womanhood, they, their fertility and their reproductive health is stressed. They get an OBGYN, they're there in the healthcare system and continue on. Whereas like there's this wall for men once they leave puberty, in terms of when they next engage with the healthcare system. Can you expand on that and how that might be a factor too?
So have healthy habits. We as young kids, we have to get shots, vaccines, get records to go to the doctor to enroll in school. So our parents have to get us relationship with the doctor and continue. But once we finish high school and go into the workplace or go to college, unless we're in the Army, well, the Army kind of continues the healthcare system. The vast majority of us, for men, it goes dark. You go to the health clinic if you're sick, if you're hurting, if you have a problem. If you can't figure it out on your own, you go to the doctor. So men are told to go to the doctor for problem visits only. There are no well visits that are scheduled until we're 40 years old. But for women, they have to continue their reproductive process, get screened. So they have to maintain a relationship with the healthcare system. And that's very important, because I tell people this is relationships with the healthcare system, relationships with your doctor. But if a woman has a bad encounter, she has to figure it out within the next year, because she's got to get her testing and screening done. A man can have a bad encounter when he's 22 and be gone.
And that's it. Right.
That's
so
it.
And if he goes at 40, we're lucky, right? He might never go back. And that goes to talking about trust or distrust, right? So we know it's not just the historical trauma that Black men have had in the healthcare system, the famous, Tuskegee study for the treatment of syphilis or lack thereof that Black men did not get in that study. They did not get treated for syphilis. They just got observed. So care was withheld when it really should have been given. And it's not just that historical trauma, but also real life experiences in the present. So how can systems and individual doctors rebuild trust with Black men so that they feel welcome, so that they know that that is a trusted partner in their health?
Correct. So trust comes through, as we know, through respect and transparency, and persistent respect and transparency. And we have a system that historically wasn't transparent, historically wasn't respectful to people of color, historically brutal to people of color, and not transparent. So that is a system that's set. And we're not doing the blame, we're just putting facts out there. So when a person of color goes to the doctor and they have an encounter where someone is not transparent or talks down. So point one, in the healthcare system, physicians need to make time to listen and come with empathy to people of color. That builds trust. Show some respect, show some understanding of a person's culture. That builds trust, and respect them. Listening for 10 minutes is better than lecturing for 30. It's more effective. Hey, find out how that person landed there, listen to that, and then correct, versus labs and stuff. So respecting the people we take care of as a healthcare system, being transparent, communicating effectively are things that the healthcare system needs to work on. And then on the male side, it's finding someone, seeking that person. People don't date the first person and marry that person. They date multiple people before they get married. But in the healthcare system, men, more so than women, they give it one and done. They date one person, it didn't work out, and I'm done. And who suffers from that? The man suffers, the woman in his life, and his family. So the devil wins when you shut out the healthcare system. And it doesn't hurt the healthcare system. It's a multi-billion-dollar system that lives without or with Black men.
Yeah. I have, like a series of 10 questions, excuse me, doctor, about that really talk about when, how to talk to your doctor and actually interview them, right? So, let's move on to the next question, which is, what are the top 3 chronic diseases that Black men are at highest risk for, and what are the early signs they should never ignore?
Right. So our main cause of death, and these things aren't specific to us, but heart disease and stroke kills us the most. It kills upwards of 300,000 people per year. So heart disease is called a silent killer, mainly because early risk factors, high blood pressure, elevated cholesterol, uncontrolled diabetes. These are all signs and symptoms that us as African Americans have been able to tolerate, because if you could not genetically tolerate these diseases back when there was a system where you got no health care, you did not live long enough to procreate and pass those genes on. So the system weeded those people out. So unfortunately, current day, you can have a Black man with a blood pressure of 180 talking to you normally in your office, Dr. Mel. No headaches, no nothing. And he's getting a well visit, and you check his blood pressure, you check his cholesterol, and he is headed straight for a heart attack or stroke in his 50s or 60s. But at age 30 and 40, he feels fine. That kidneys are taking a pound. And so early symptoms of heart disease, nothing. You have to get a blood pressure check. But chest pain, shortness of breath, fatigue, we strike these things up often as stress, but they can be related or signs to elevated blood pressure.
Absolutely. Makes sense. And so given that it's really important to pick these things up early, when should men start thinking about preventive screenings, right? To start thinking about your blood pressure, start thinking about your cholesterol, start thinking about screening for diabetes. When should that start to happen ideally?
So that's a fantastic question, Dr. Mel, because typically folks are trying to re-enter the healthcare system at age 40, right? 40 can be too late. So if I'm talking to young people in your high school years, fine, but in your 20s and 30s, you want to develop healthy habits, eating right, sleeping right, exercising, and then healthcare wise, blood pressure checks, if overweight and a family history of diabetes, glucose, diabetes checks, and cholesterol checks early. I did not go to the doctor, and I am a physician until my daughter was born at age 27. Then I went to the doctor and said, check me for everything because I want to live. I want to be around for my child growing up. And here I had a total cholesterol of 300.
Wow. In your 20s.
In my 20s, because I have the genetics that produces high cholesterol, and went on cholesterol medicine like the rest of the males in my family. But my grandfather died at age 65 from a heart attack. There were no cholesterol medicines out at that time. He died in front of me from a heart attack, but he was the oldest Crosse male. We have high cholesterol in our family, but my uncle is now 87. My father is 80, but that age has been pushed up, but we're on cholesterol medicine. But I did not go in my 20s for an annual checkup. I went at 27, but I'm telling people in their 20s, go get blood pressure checked, cholesterol, and if there's family history or you're overweight, check for diabetes, because those need to be checked before they get 10 years of damage.
Absolutely. And then for your specialty, when should Black men start thinking about colon cancer? Of course, Chadwick Boseman is who everybody thinks about, and he was a relatively young man. So what are the recommendations for getting screened for colon cancer?
Right. Chadwick, God rest his soul, he was very unlucky, unfortunate, and developed cancer in his 30s. And I do want to tell folks that 10% of colon cancer people are under the age of 50. So young people do get it. Young people are getting it more because the biggest risk factor for colon cancer is the environment. So pollution, air, and the air quality is going down. Our environment, what we eat, we're eating more processed foods. We're eating worse foods at an earlier age. The previous generations ate fine unless their relatives smoked or whatever. They had good air quality, and then it wasn't until older they developed colon cancer, 60s, 70s. We're not seeing that today. So my youngest person has been 19.
Wow.
It's very uncommon. Chadwick was 35. He was a vegetarian. He was in good shape. He's been responsible for a lot of Black men getting screened, but the vast majority of my patients, 90% or more, are above the age of 50 with colon cancer and can be prevented by getting a colonoscopy. So you start screening at age 45, age 40 if you have a family history. Symptoms we look for: blood in the stools, abdominal pain, weight loss. But for the most part, the biggest teaching point, Dr. Mel, is early colon cancer causes 0 symptoms. And if we catch it early, the cure rate's 95%. If we wait till we have symptoms, the cure rate's 50%.
Wow. So start at age 40 if you have a family history. That's what happened to me. I have a family history. I started at age 40. And otherwise, if you don't, age 45.
That's correct, for colonoscopy. And now we have colonoscopy, which is the gold standard. You can poop in a cup. The Cologuard test, everybody's seeing the commercials, is a second test. It misses cancer 8% of the time, so it scores a 92. Colonoscopy has a 1% miss rate, so it scores a 99. So between those two tests, people should be screened. We might imagine African Americans, 60% of people who should be screened get screened. That's the 40% of us, people of color, that don't get screened. But when we look about other subgroups, 70% of other subgroups get screened. So there's a 10% gap there. And we want to bridge that by saying, hey, being healthy is cool. Getting the colonoscopy or pooping in the cup to get screened for colon cancer. Getting your prostate blood test at age 45, which is the second common cancer.
I was going to mention that. Yep.
Yeah.
Glad you hit on it.
Yeah. So prostate cancer early causes 0 symptoms, just like colon cancer. Early breast cancer for women, 0 symptoms. Women get screened better. Breast cancer is more common in women. 1 in 8 women get breast cancer. but there are more women dying from colon cancer than breast cancer. They will get mammograms, but get colonoscopies more than Black men, but still don't get it at the rate that they get mammograms. And one, that was a system flaw. We made it like prostate cancer was a male problem, breast cancer was a female problem, colon cancer was a male disease. And that early study was just done flawed, and it was done on Army populations, which were mainly men back then.
Yeah.
So we thought men got colon cancer.
But men should also look out for prostate cancer. Don't be afraid of that, finger exam called a digital rectal exam and getting the blood test. So no, that's great. And what age does the prostate cancer screening, when should that start?
Right. Prostate cancer starts at age 45. Now, the general population, because white men get it less, when you're looking at all comers, some studies will say, hey, it's optional for men to get it. That's not the case for Black men. We make up a smaller subset. Black men should be screened. If your physician says it's optional for you, you say, hey, I read somewhere it's not optional for me. Get a PSA test. And it's just a blood test. Can you avoid the digital exam? You can. You can't avoid the blood test. The blood test is not optional. You're looking to have a PSA under 4, and if it's over 4, they'll refer you to a urologist. Early detection, early prostate cancer cure rates 95%. People do well. It's a slow grower, but it will catch you if you let it.
If you don't do anything about it, absolutely. So I want to switch from solely focusing on physical health to also talk about mental health. Now, Wayne mentioned, when we sort of opened the program, about the troubling uptick in death by suicide, especially among young Black men. He talked about Marshawn Nealon, the Dallas Cowboy player who unfortunately died by suicide just this past week. What should families look for at all? Are there signs that they should be looking for when they're thinking about the health of their young men, the mental health of their young men?
Yeah. So mental health is real. It's a problem. Suicide, which is the end result of anxiety, depression, at the worst form, is up 30% in the Black community. You'll see outlets say, hey, it's due to poverty. And that just can easily be debunked. We know that African Americans, although still poor, poverty was not a reason. Suicide was not on our top 10 list. 60s, 70s, any decades you go back, right? So suicide just wasn't something we did. But now poverty levels are the same, but stress and anxiety mixed with the isolation that cell phones produce, which is ironic. They're meant to connect us. They cause more loneliness and isolation than ever before. We now know kids should not get cell phones till the 9th grade. You'll have friends that will put cell phones in their kids' hands in the 6th grade. Anxiety, depression goes up. In its worst form, depression happens. So cell phones, age 10, 9, there are kids that have had cell phones disconnected, anxiety, depression for 10 plus years in their 20s. So suicide is up ages 15 to 24, 40%, 25 to 35, up 30% for Black men. Men are overwhelming the largest group that will commit suicide, more related to testosterone, more impulsive, right? You don't see it in. And your last question was, what are signs? Well, withdrawal. You don't look for sadness for men. It's withdrawing are the clues. They're not taking care of themselves, right? They stop going to functions. They stop reaching out. So one of the things, families have to talk to that brother, talk to that man, not, hey, how you doing? Because everybody says I'm good. No, how are you really doing? And Dr. Mel, I use a number score with my friends. I say, hey, man, what's your happy score? And I'm listening for 8, 9, or 10. Don't let them use 7. Hey, it's 5 or 6. Okay, you can trend that. Hey, man, or can you use negative numbers? 1 or 2. You trend that with person. Hey, what can we do to get you happier? And it's real. And you brought up the Dallas Cowboy unfortunate case with him. He scored a touchdown 2 weeks ago before he killed himself. And every kid as a kid, black man as a kid, dreams at some point scoring a touchdown in NFL.
So
he scored a touchdown, and within 2 weeks he took his own life. So you cannot look at a man and tell what he's going through. You have to do a deeper dive and say, hey, are you okay?
Yes, absolutely.
Are you really okay?
Yeah. No, that makes perfect sense. And the stressors on everybody are getting worse, including black men. There are layoffs happening. We're in a government shutdown. Federal workers aren't getting paid, on top of just the regular family relationship, money problems that other people, that people might have. What's the relationship between stress and health? And what are the signs that that a man should start thinking about, hey, maybe I need to see a therapist about this?
Yeah. So for men, we may not stress indirectly and directly affects the body physically, raises your blood pressure, increases inflammatory changes, right? This increased inflammation, increases of blood pressure, increases our chances of the most common cause of death, heart attacks, strokes. Most heart attacks, the deadliest day is Monday morning, right? And that is when everybody's waking up thinking about the stress of the work week.
Starting that work week again, Yep.
So overworked, underpaid is not just a slogan, it's real. The difference that we're dealing with now, Dr. Mel, is that the stress is there, but the sense that nobody cares is the difference. The sense that nobody cares, is the problem for black men. We feel like nobody cares. We're in a society now, codependence isn't there, right? Some of our sisters have disconnected, no fault of their own. They've had multiple bad experiences. How many times are they going to try to mend a relationship with a broken man? So they disconnect and sign off on the whole relationship society. Phones, reels, toxic reels get shared way more than positive reels. We know that. So men that are lonely, the only communication they get are through their phones and these reels. And I call them toxic reels. It's a deeper dive. They're isolated and they feel like nobody cares. And when people, and men for sure, when they go deep in that cave, they go in that cave by themselves. And somebody has to go in there and pull them out. Women are more vocal. So they talk and somebody listens and talks to them. When men withdraw, go in the cave, go deeper in the cave, the further they are, and I'm guilty of it too. Sometimes your homeboys, you haven't heard from them, hey, what's going on? Until you do the deeper dive. Some of my richest friends have no idea. My richest friends, very depressed, didn't even know it. I didn't know what he was going through, right? I didn't hear from him. I'm thinking it's because he's just busy at work. No, the only thing he was doing was going to work, coming home, turning on the TV, going to sleep, wash and repeat. No exercising, no listening to music. Brother Wayne, music is therapeutic.
Yes. Yeah. We just talked about that. And to your point, isolation and withdrawing can happen to any man, but men that are married have a longer lifespan than men who are single, to your point. So we keep talking, but I would definitely want to get the audience in here, because we're coming up on the top of the hour and I want to make sure that we bring in their comments, questions. So Lila, Wayne, come on back.
I do have to tell you about, since I know you're married men live on average 5 years longer than single men. So that the toxic reels that are out there with all these men that are tycoons and got a bunch of women and stuff, no, they die 5 years sooner.
I'm sorry, I'm laughing.
Men that are in healthy relationships live 5 to 7 years longer. And it's very important that we, as men, look for people that bring peace into our life. So peace givers. And toxic relationships do the exact opposite. So I'm not saying be in a relationship that's toxic, but a healthy relationship adds summers to your life on the lines of 5 to 7. And it's a peace giver, a peace taker. You want to avoid them. And I end up teaching more men on what to look for in a relationship, because either we don't see it or we saw toxicity but didn't know it was toxic. Arguing and carrying on, peace taking, we thought that was normal. That's not a relationship. So married men live 5 to 7 years longer. Single women only pass away a year shorter than married women, because women are just way more responsible. They make their doctor's visits whether or not they have a man or not. So they're just,
that's what I was gonna say, Dr. Crosse. I was gonna say peace givers, of course, but we be on that calendar. We stay on them screening calendars, and we like, we gotta get. You better get
all
over
the
there.
time.
If I have to call a doctor and make the appointment myself,
right.
Women go to the doctor, but a married man, their wife can make their appointments. You know, I do more screening, and I'd always laugh. You know, they come there, the wife is there with the man. It's like he's a mute. He can't even talk. She'll give the history and everything.
Exactly.
Set him up.
I mean,
that's the
I would have
5 to
said the
7
same
years
thing.
That's facts. My partner went to the doc. He had his physical last week, and I didn't go this time. I let him do his own thing, but I did get a couple of phone calls.
Yep.
Okay.
There you go.
There you go.
Very important. Very important.
Very important.
I mean, that's a healthy relationships is a whole nother show that we need to do.
But it's the best medicine that's out there.
It's great medicine, right, Doc?
It is
Peacemakers. It's the best medicine that's out there. Healthy
best medicine out there.
Hey,
Dr. Crosse, I have to tell you, we have a little thread, the producers and the hosts, and we're like, we got to get Dr. Crosse in front. We need to do like a live show. You need way more time. There are lots of things to ask you, so that's a whole nother conversation. But I just wanted to.
He's quite impressive.
There are very few things more important than what I'm doing today. So you got me. You know, that's valuable time.
We appreciate you.
We really do. You said something that just landed like a brick, and that is that women. There are more cases of women dying from colon cancer than men. Did I understand that correctly?
No, I said breast cancer is more common, but when you look at death, more women are dying from colon cancer than they are from breast cancer. Yeah.
Right.
So,
right.
The pink ribbon, breast cancer, the pink ribbon has done a good job of saving lives for women. So putting it out there in space that women need to get colonoscopies more, because they're dying more from colon cancer and beating breast cancer is the main thing. So the blue ribbon is for both sexes, and the pink ribbon is not the pink ribbon for women, blue ribbon for men. Men and women get colon cancer at the same frequency. Men are more likely to die from it, but more women are dying from colon cancer each year than from breast cancer.
And from breast cancer. I think that is a really important statistic, because a lot of us are not talking about that the way we talk about breast cancer screenings. Right. So I just wanted to put an asterisk next to that. Wayne, you have something?
Yeah, I've seen Dr. Crosse before, and he has an analogy, a summer analogy. And Dr. Crosse, you want to expound upon that? Your summer analogy?
For the summer saved, and again, it came from Dion Cole, right? And he just says basically, when you lose time, you're losing a summer. Okay, so a man that dies at 70 when he should have died at 80 lost 10 summers. Wow. So, and you're looking at, hey, what can I do to be around for another summer for my children, my spouse, my family? There is often someone that benefits from you being around, and that is the trigger. Going to the doctor, wellness visits are acts of love. Yes. So people have to understand that they're acts of love for the people that care about you. And one of the main things that motivates people to go to the doctor that women can use on men, you say, listen, if you love me, you'll go to the doctor, right? Because now if he doesn't go, he's showing you that he doesn't care. And he does care. He may not be able to articulate it, but he'll go to the doctor. If you love me, you go to the doctor, you get the colonoscopy to get those summers. And you're just trying to gain those summers back.
How many effective summers do we have? You used to.
Right. Yeah. So I'm 55, right? I want to do 85 healthy. And then I always joke with people, once I get to 84, I'll start renegotiating with God, depending on where I'm at. But you effectively, as men, our mean age of death is 70.
Yeah.
So if I have 15 summers left, right? Number one, I don't waste time with people, these peace takers and stuff. Hey, listen, negative energy, folks, you can't get in my space for very long. But that being said, positive energy people, you want to add summers so that you can get to those 80 summers, 85 summers. And all men think they're going to live to be 80 years, and it's just not true, right? It's just not true. 10% of men die before 65. Everybody on this panel knows people that have already passed away, and not tragically, health-related stuff. We're not talking about car accidents. 10% die before 65. Wow. And so we need to do and control what we can to stay around as long as possible. And it's making those visits. And lastly, Wayne, we all know brothers that they take care of their cars way better than they take care of their body. So they go oil changes, right? They put premium oil in their stuff, and they eat bad and smoke cigars, right? But they got the Porsche and a nice car. They take care of their cars better than they take care of themselves. And you're way more valuable than any car.
Okay.
You're muted, Mel. Wayne, I love that you asked that, Wayne, because I actually had to write in my journal, adds more summers. I wrote that down when you said it.
Dr. Mel, you muted yourself. So check your muting on your computer. Yeah. On your studio.
Oh no, we still can't hear you, Dr. Mel.
We still can't hear you, Dr.
But
Mel.
I have a question for Dr. Crosse.
Yeah.
There we go.
Oh,
there we go.
We have Mel back.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. I was just going to say, to your point about summers, my father-in-law, rest his soul, had 87 summers. And it was because he was proactive when it came to his health. And the older he got, the more proactive he got. And I often say, he not only outlived the life expectancy for Black men in DC, which is 67, but he outlived the life expectancy for white men in DC, which is 83. And that had to do with a strong relationship with his healthcare team, among other things, but a strong relationship with his healthcare team. So being proactive is really important.
Go ahead,
we spoke earlier about the young man, the football player who took his life. So Dr. Crosse, to any of the young brothers who are struggling with just pressure, identity, all the things, what would be the one takeaway you would want them to leave the show with tonight?
Find someone you trust and talk to them. And when being vulnerable is okay, telling them that you're not okay, and understand that there are thousands of people that are not okay. You're not the only one. And these problems feel permanent, but they're not. All storms end, right? All storms end, and then it's sunny, but in the midst of the storm, it feels like it's not going to end. So just know all storms end. You have to ride it out, but find someone to talk to that you trust and be vulnerable. Tell them how you really feel. Just putting it out there helps. Stuff staying inside bubbles up until it explodes. But men have to find someone to talk to. Support groups, there's always somebody, multiple people just like you, but you have to find them out and communicate. And so finding someone to talk to. Gender identity is the biggest cause for men to commit suicide. Black men commit suicide mainly related to gender, right? The anxiety and depression that comes to that. 21% of Black men that are gay have thought about killing themselves, compared to 8% of Black men that are depressed. It's almost a threefold increase. So for us heterosexual men, we have to be mindful what we say. Our words matter.
They do.
When we point people out and stuff and make fun of them, you don't know who you're hurting.
Yes.
That's something that even myself, I work on. You cannot articulate these things. Your words kill people.
Yeah.
Your words kill people. You have no idea. The bathroom jokes and stuff like that, I was not for it. President Obama, lucky for me, my classmate was in Obama's cabinet. I called her up like, hey, what's the deal with this bathroom? I did not know that 85% of the people killed in bathrooms are Black men. Black transgender men are getting beaten to death in bathrooms by other Black men or white men. And that was the reason that Obama changed courses and did the whole bathroom thing. I was ignorant to those facts, not realizing that our words and feelings, I'm sitting there saying, hey, this is crazy, this whole bathroom stuff. I'm out here contributing, right, with my words to the death of Black men.
Right.
But when you know better, you do better.
Yeah. Thank you for making that connection. That's
huge.
Incredible. That's huge.
Yeah. Are we in the lightning round? We have
we are at a lightning round right here, Dr. Mill. You got the last question. Quickly.
Oh, I do. Okay. Well, what are healthier ways to cope with stress rather than internalizing it?
Right. So great. So Brother Bruce brought up music, but meditating and prayer, which are two forms of the same thing. But for those that aren't religious, understanding that meditation, connecting, thinking positive thoughts, pushing negative thoughts out. So meditating, and this is daily at the minimum. Okay? Right. Daily at the minimum. Meditation, prayer, exercise. Exercise induces endorphins. It makes us feel good. The happy drugs, walking, exercising, meditating, and then that leads us to music. Music that you like, that makes you feel good. Have a playlist of music you like that makes you feel good. You have headphones, use them, right? It's not for the music in the car that hey, I want to play this. No, music you like. Have a playlist that when you hear it, it's connected to something happy, and that's it. Play music. Music can be the best medicine. Right? It takes away pain. Then it's played. They give you the headphones and they say, hey, listen, what channel do you want me to put on? Because a pain-free dentist and experience brings other patients. So they let you pick the music. You think the dentist is being nice. He's looking at his bottom line. Music takes
He's saving on pain medicine.
Yeah.
And there you have it.
Well, thank you so much, Dr. Crosse. We started off with music at the top of the show as our first recap item. We ended with music, and we had a whole bunch of incredible advice that you dropped in between. So thank you so much for that. Thank you, my Be Health Empowered family, Wayne, Lila. Y'all are awesome. And until we see you next time, be wise, be well, and be health empowered. Thanks for tuning in.